Well, hello there once again, fellow flight simmers and cockpit builders. Here I am again with another one of my back to basic videos. We're going to start making the videos on 7-segment displays, but I realized that last time when I made the previous videos, I included both the TM1637 and the MAX7219 in one video, and it ended up being an extremely long video. So what I decided to do for this one is I'm going to break it up. On this video, I'm only going to do a very cursory overview of 7-segment displays and the different types that you can use with SimVimX. And then on a separate video for each, I will do the TM1637 and then the MAX7219. And I'm actually considering also making a separate video on just the options that are available for 7-segment displays, so as to keep the individual videos not extremely long. But before we go any further, I'd like to remind you guys once again, as I always do, that I am not affiliated or associated with SimVimX or Real Sim Control, and I definitely do not represent them. Whatever I show you on these videos and I tell you, it is just my version of what I read on their website, which I highly recommend that you of course go read so you can get all the diagrams and all the technical information regarding how to use and connect everything to your Arduino for SimVimX. Alright, so as we go over to my workbench here, you can see that I have a wide variety of 7 displays out here, and I'm going to be coming back to this a little bit later on, but obviously we can use 7-segment displays for example, all the things on the MCP for the autopilot. We can use them to display the nav and comm radio displays. You can also use them to display parameters, like for example your current altitude, your current heading, the compass heading, the vertical speed, radial altitude, and many other things. So it's just they're very useful for displaying a lot of data in your home cockpit. So now let's go over to the website and see what they have to say about it. So if you go over to the hardware section and then the 7-segment display area here, they go over basically a little bit of what 7-segment displays are, the different types of displays that have been used in aircraft throughout the years. But for the purposes of our home cockpits and what we're talking about here, they're LED based 7-segment displays, and they basically call them 7-segment displays because they use 7 segments to make the letters and numbers that they create. So, and as you can see right here on the website, they have that you can use MAX7219 7-segment displays, TM1637 based 7-segment displays. You can also make them with DM13A. I haven't really been able to find any that are based off of that chip, but you can make your own also, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And then you also have the 8-bit shift registers, the 74HC595, but you're going to see right now why I wouldn't use those, because it's a lot of work. So if we go over here to the supported hardware tab, they go over a bunch of different ways of doing this. So you can see right here that the MAX7219 and the 1637 are the most common ones. Those are the ones that I've only used. And I think I did see some with the 74HC595 shift registers, but I have not bought any and I haven't played around with them. So the most common ones are going to be the MAX7219 and the TM1637, like I said. And those are the ones that I have up here. These two big ones up here are based on the TM1637. Now these displays, they all come in, I've seen them in white, blue, red, yellow, green, and I think I've even seen purple ones. Obviously, like for example, I'm thinking that eventually I'm going to try to make an MCP panel for the 737, and I'm going to plan on using this size right here, which is a 0.36 inch display, little segments. So that would be about 9.1 millimeters. But they also come in this big one here, the 0.56 inch, which is about 14.2 millimeters, but those are a little too big, especially for something like the MCP panel. So I've been able to find the TM1637s with on both sizes, both this size and this size. And I actually prefer the TM1637. Not only do they only use 4 wires, but they also seem to have less problems. Every time I've been trying to play around with the MAX7219, I've always found little inconsistencies and all that with them, including the fact that when you just start up your simulator, all the ones with the MAX7219 will always show the 88888 all the way across. And the TM1637s, they immediately come up with whatever values those displays are showing inside the simulator. So that's another reason I prefer them. So going back to the website here, you got with the Max 7219, you can actually get these in a whole bunch of different ways. You can get them with this removable little LED segments that you can just basically remove them and replace them, like if you want to change the color and everything, so you can do that. The most common ones on the Max 7219 is 8 digits. Those are the ones that are all over the place. And the Max 7219 uses 5 wires instead of just 4. I did manage to find a supplier, which is, by the way, called Proto Supplies, that carry these little boards right here that are, you can basically solder yourself either 3, 4, or 5 7 segments of the displays. So if you want to make, like for the MCP panel, I think I need to use a total of three digit 7 segment displays, and then I need 3 5-digit 7 segment displays. So these are probably going to work out pretty good. But I did also order some 4 and 6 segment TM1637s of the small kind, like these right here. This one is actually blue, I believe, so I need to get some white ones like this for the MCP panel. But anyway, one thing I did want to mention is that if you ever get these 4-digit TM1637s, do not get the ones with the 2 little dots for the clock, because I don't know if they're wired differently. I already double and triple checked my connections and my soldering, and nothing is shorting out. But for some reason I have 2 of these, and they both bring down the entire system when I connect them. So do not get the ones with the two little dots. Just get the ones with the dots on the bottom like these. Going back to the website, so with these 7219s, they actually come with a LED matrix panel here that you can remove, and then you can connect, as they're saying here, you can connect your own cables, and wire them to the little 7 segment displays, and you can make, I believe, up to 8 digits also, just like the regular Max 7219. But for me, that's a lot of work, because if you can already buy a Max 7219 with everything in a little circuit board, why are you going to do all this wiring? But I guess if you want to get creative, or if you want to have options, you can make as many digits as you want with this. So that's one way to do it. So the other thing that they talk about is that you can use a DM13A LED driver to make a 7 segment display. The only downside to that is that you need one LED driver for each 2 digits, because since they can only have 16 LEDs on each DM13A, you can technically only connect 2 digits. 8 on this side and 8 on this side will make two digits total. So as you can see here on this diagram or this picture, you would need to use 3 DM13As in order to make an 8-digit display. So once again, like I said, if you can already buy the little boards with the displays and everything already soldered on, why are you going to do all this work, just to make a 6-digit display? You might as well just buy a pre-built TM1637 that already has 6 digits, and it's just a nice little package, and all you need to do is connect the wires to it. Okay, and if you thought that was bad, wait until we get over here to the shift registers. So with these right here, since they only do 8 bits, you can only use one 7 segment display digit on each one of these. And the other bad thing about this is that you also need to use resistors in order for each one of the legs of the display. So that's also a lot of work. And another thing you need to be aware of on these is that you can actually get them with common anode, or you can get them with common cathode, so that would determine which part of this is going to go to ground and which part is going to go to the 5-volt rail, which I kind of talked about a little bit when I was talking about DM13As. Now the worst part about this system is that not only do you have to use resistors, but you need to use on one little HC595 for each 7 segment display. So if you want to make an 8-digit 7 segment display, you need to have a total of 8 of these little HC595 shift registers. So that's definitely a no-no for me. So one of the very important things that I want to mention, and I'm going to mention it again in each individual video for the TM1637 and the MAX7219, is the power requirements for these 7 segment displays. So I've mentioned it before with the LEDs as well. For anything that you need to provide power to, you need to have a separate power supply. You cannot count on providing all the power needed from the Arduino, because I think I read, I couldn't find it anymore on the website, but I think I read that you can only put about 400 milliamps through the Arduino before you may start causing damage. I did see that it says that you can only sink a maximum of 40 milliamps on each pin, but I think for the Arduino in total, even though it has 69 pins, you can only do about 400 milliamps before you can risk damaging it. So it is very important that you provide the power for all the displays from a separate power supply. And right here, I have this little power board right here because I'm actually getting the power, the 5 volts from a separate power supply. It's just, a brick. Yeah, so it's a 5.3 volts. And that's the one I'm using to give power to all these displays. So you can see over here that I have a little multimeter connected. And right now I set them all up for adjusting the brightness using this potentiometer over here. So obviously, depending on how bright they are, is going to change the amount of power that they're going to be consuming, or the current that they're going to draw. So right now, I have it at the lowest setting, and I have 4 of them, of course, and I'm drawing 31 milliamps. So remember, you can only draw about 400 milliamps out of the Arduino maximum. So if I play around with the brightness here, and you'll start seeing the brightness of the LED start to increase, and then you can see that the milliamps is increasing as well. So right there, I think I'm about halfway right there. And then as I keep going higher, you can see that I'm already 144. And this one can only go to 200 milliamps on this scale right here. But you can see that I already went over 200 milliamps. I am pretty much maxed out already. But if I back it off a little bit, just enough so that we can see. Oops, there it is. All right, so right there I have it pretty much a maximum brightness. I believe I can go a little bit more, but then this thing will go out of its range, and then you won't see anything but a 1 on there. So I have it just below maximum, and you can see that it's drawing almost 194 milliamps right there, and that's with only 4 displays. I'm not sure why this one is so much brighter than this one. They're basically using the same power source and everything, unless I did not put that one to be brightened with this. Let me see. No, it looks like it is, but for some reason it's just a little bit dimmer. But that's basically the point I wanted to make, and I'm gonna keep repeating it like I said in the other videos, is that you cannot provide the power to all your 7-segment displays through the Arduino. You must use a separate power supply. Okay, so I mean, obviously if you keep them down dim, you can use quite a few of them, because right here I have them dimmed down pretty much, and you can see that I'm only using about 43 milliamps on the 4 of them. So it is possible to maybe power even maybe 10 of them, but you just need to be aware of everything that is going through the Arduino, not just a certain type of component. And as I mentioned before on the previous videos, when you are using output multiplexers for 7-segment displays or DM13A LED drivers, you can use up to 4 output multiplexers. So in theory, if you needed to or wanted to, you can have up to 64 7-segment displays connected to your Arduino through multiplexers. I really doubt that any of us will need that many, but it's good to have the options. Alright, so that's going to be it for this video. Like I said, it was just supposed to be an introduction to the different types of 7-segment displays that we can use with our Arduinos with SimVimX and Real Sim Control. Like I said, it will be a separate video for each type where I will go more into the wiring, the details, and all that stuff. And then, like I said, probably I will make a completely separate video for all the options that are available for 7-segment displays. Alright, well, thank you guys very much for watching, and like always, I'll see you on the next one.